Quick question. Why did the shepherds fall asleep on the job? Because they were busy counting sheep. Alright, dad joke over. But what is God's obsession with shepherds? Moses was a shepherd when he first met God in the burning bush. David was herding sheep when he was anointed king of Israel. And the shepherds were there at the birth of Jesus. And today we hear about them in the gospel. I am the good shepherd. I know my own, and my own know me. Just as the Father knows me, and I know the Father. And I lay down my life for my sheep. Imagine that image of the Good Shepherd. He stands among the fold, keeping watch. I imagine him holding a rod in one hand to ward off the wolves. But notice his rod includes a hook to keep pulling back any lone sheep that might stray away. The Gospel passage says that the sheep know him. But I don't think you're going to find some intellectual conversation trying to question each other's purpose in this world. But I think there's just an understanding that occurs. Maybe a bond, a trust. And from the experience of knowing the good intentions of the Good Shepherd. And from this image, it's really quite simple. God loves us. And because he loves us, he sent his only son who laid down his life for us. When I found out my wife, Marie, was pregnant with our first child, Moses, I was ecstatic. Marie called me on the phone and said, "I'm pregnant." Immediately I had thoughts and images in my mind about what father I would be. I imagined I would be with him as he took his first steps, reading to him before saying goodnight and even showing him how to play basketball. But it also occurred to me about how it would impact me, a man who spent 30 years without the responsibility of another. I received advice from other fathers who just said, get ready for sleepless nights, or those moments where you could decide to go on a date night off the whim were now over. It really got me thinking how prepared I was to be this child's father, how prepared I am for this particular vocation. My wife and I like to be prepared, so we found out the sex of our baby. And I did some further reading to prepare, and I came across Steve Biddulph's book about raising boys. He suggested that in the first 3 years of their development, it was crucial that it was about being present. Just be there and allow them to explore who you are and the world around them. It's the same advice I would give to any man about to be a father. Take time to be present to their needs. It's not the one-size-fits-all approach. You need to know them individually. I was amazed when I held my son in my arms for the first time. That moment when he first laid eyes on me. Though, through the simple look of awe, I said to myself, I will do anything for this child. I will love him to the best of my ability. I will do everything I can to ready him to be the best man he can be. And I think that's how God looks at us. Jesus lays down his life for us because he knows us and invites us to know him. It's emphasized further when he said in the Last Supper, no one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. Even in St. Paul's letter to the Corinthians, where he asks husbands to love their wives as Christ loved the church, by taking up his cross. Now, how am I laying down my life for the ones I love every day? As a father, it's getting my son up early, ready to go, making him breakfast, coaching his soccer team, even having to discipline him when he gets into trouble. I do these things because of my relationship with my children, because I love them. To borrow the words from another doctor of the church, St. Thomas Aquinas, he defines love as willing the good of the other. How am I willing their good? To me, that's the image of the Good Shepherd, one who lays down his life out of and because of love. Love defines everything we do and why we do it. St. Augustine said, love and do what you will. If you hold your peace out of love. If you cry out of love. If you correct someone, correct them out of love. If you spare them out of love. Let the root of love be in you. Nothing can spring from it but good.